All right, so welcome everyone. This is our total body workout class. So we are gonna try and we are gonna hit every muscle group in our body from a variation of using equipment such as dumbbells or our own body weight. So we'll go ahead and get started with our warm up. Just set my phone here, have my workout on my notes. So, with that being said, let's get a good warm up. Okay. So we're here standing and we're just going to look left to right. This limited range of motion for myself right now. And look to the right. I feel a little pinch. Not sure. I woke up fine. And then I did a 10-mile bike ride. And I don't know if the position of the seat just irritated my back. I've been feeling it for the last 24 hours, up and down. Next circles. Just move your head around your shoulders, your upper back, your upper chest. Switch directions. We're going counterclockwise. Let's do snow angels. It's a little bit of shoulder movement here. Morning, Teresa. So you just bring the arms all the way down, all the way up. Morning, Monica. So yeah, so I'm supposed to be doing the last of the drops before the end of this weekend. So I think after this class, whoever didn't attend or has never attended, um, probably get dropped from this class. So if you're here, you have nothing to worry about. But yeah, I think most people, I think there might just be like 3 or 4 out of like 40 students that might have to get dropped. Bring the right arm across, switch. So trunk rotations, this side to side over here. Ab circles, hinge at the hip, straight back, pump back, right here. Go big hula hoops, the big giant hula hoops. Big movements here. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend. Switch directions. We're gonna do standing hip openers. So just up, out, down, up, back, down. Do about 4 of these on each leg. One. Switch. All right, let's go ahead and do our hamstring stretch. So grab a hold of your head, slide your hands down your shins, grab a hold of your ankles, drop your hips down, and extend. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna do 8 of these. 6, 7, and 8. All right, very good. Our last stretch is gonna be our deep squat. So remember, shoulder width apart, and drop your hips as low as you can. And so drop them here. And you could just twist, drop those knees side to side. And rise. Very good. All right, great. So let's go ahead and make sure we have our equipment nearby. So we're looking for dumbbells, a chair, yoga mat, and that should do it for today. If you have resistance bands, not mandatory, but those will help. But I have some water nearby. I'll give you folks about a minute to get those items. All righty. So, just like last week, instead of going through an entire series of cardio and lifting, today we're just gonna focus on lifting. Okay, so no cardio. So yeah, so we'll be focusing on lifting for strength and muscle growth. So our first set, we're gonna do a set of dumbbell squats. So dumbbells could be resting on our shoulders or at our side. We're gonna do a squat, then come up and repeat that motion, okay? That's gonna be our first set. Our first exercise, 10 to 12 repetitions. Dumbbell front raises, your second movement. Okay, that's gonna work on your shoulders. Dumbbell seated good morning. So this one, we did standing last time. So seated, you're just gonna be on the front of your chair. Okay, open your legs so your torso can go through. So dumbbells are here, then over, come back. If that's a little bit uncomfortable, then you can do the standing version and then push-ups. Okay, so that's the first set. The 4 exercises, and we're aiming for 10 to 12 repetitions of each one. All right, so if you're ready, we'll start off here. Actually, I'm gonna do these barefoot, these sandals. Feel like they kind of get in the way. All right, so ready for our first set, 10 to 12. We're gonna go here, ready, and begin. So hips all the way down, 90 degrees, and come up. So spend half a second at that bottom position, then back up. 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep that torso as upright as you can. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, last one, and 12. Right. A little bit of rest. That's our first one there. And again, that's our dumbbell squats. Just at 12. All right, next is going to be our dumbbell front raise. Remember, between these, we're resting about 30 to 40 seconds in between lifts. So we're going to go arms here, up, and down. So on your way up, you're exhaling. On the way down, you're inhaling. Okay. Remember, as you're going away from your body, your lungs are expanding. So that's where you want to exhale. So, all right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Go. So 1. Good shoulder height. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. 12 of those. And now we have the good mornings. So remember, you can do these standing or sitting down. I find these easier standing, so I'm just going to do these standing. But if you need that support, feel free to do these sitting down. Okay, so again, 30 seconds rest. Those, we're going to put the dumbbells at our side or hold them here on your chest. Slide bend at the knees, and then you're going to hinge at the back. So back is straight. So here and back up. We don't want to round the back. We don't want to arch it. We'll keep it flat. All right. Ready? Here we go. I'm gonna hold these on my chest. Just this, that upper back is tight right now. Ready? Begin. So we do 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. So inhaling on the way down, exhaling on the way up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more. 11. Hopefully that was comfortable for everyone. All right, so the next one's push-ups. We'll be on the floor. So let's go ahead and grab our yoga mat for our push-ups. Please remember push-ups. You could do knee-assisted push-ups or traditional push-ups. Either way. So give me anywhere between 10 to 15. So again, on your way down, you're inhaling. On the way up, you're exhaling. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so 15. We'll be on that one. Very good. All right, this is where we get our minute rest. So find your items. We have, on this next one, we have the curtsy lunge. That's going to be targeting your glutes. That's for coming here. And we bring that leg over and then cross. Okay, that's going to be the curtsy lunge. We have 8 on each leg. We have Arnold press, standing Arnold press. Right here. Remember, when it's away from your body, you're exhaling. Closer to you, it's inhale. Dumbbell bent over row. Using our dumbbells. And then on the floor, or we could do standing. We'll do standing Jane Fondas or hip abductions. That's going to be here. And bringing that leg out. Okay. About 20 more seconds to go. We'll get started. All right, so curtsy lunge, we're doing 8 on each leg. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Go. So from here, you come behind, cross. That's 1. Then you reset. Here. 2, 3, 3, or 2. Now it's 3, 3, 4. You're gonna feel that on your glutes tomorrow. 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, and 8. All right. Oh, sorry, getting there. All right, so 30 seconds rest. We have our Arnold press. So again, here, dumbbells, come out and then press up, come back down and connect. Okay. You're feeling good? Thumbs up. Remember, if anyone's in pain or something just feels funky, you could skip it and then we could find an alternative. All right. All right, thumbs up. Great. All right, so grab those dumbbells. We start here. Remember, we open up, press, and then close. That's 1. All right. All right, let's go ahead and do 10 to 12. All right, lots of dumbbells. Good. 2, 3. So exhale on your way up, inhale on your way down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Ooh. Not sure if my back like that one. I think it did. It opened and separated that area where it's tender. So 30 seconds rest. Remember, next one's the dumbbell bent over row. For this one, I think the last few times should come narrow grip. For this one, we'll bend over, and then our thumbs should be facing each other. Then we're gonna go wide grip. Okay, so our elbows get flared out. Okay. All right, here we go. Ready? 10 to 12. Bend over, make sure the back is nice and straight, and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Very good. Standing Jane Fondas. Okay. We're gonna do 8 on each side, 8 on each leg. So again, for this one, if you have the mini bands that go around your knees, you could use them here. So we're gonna go out and in. Okay. All right. Ready? 8 on each side. Okay, go. So torso stay as upright as possible. Toes are pointing forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We'll switch. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Awesome. It's 16 right there. This is where we get our minute break. And we move on to the second set. Okay. All right. Dumbbell pelvic plane lateral raises. So hammer curl. Extend those shoulders up or rotate them up and then extend the elbows out and back down. Okay. So here, 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 here. All right. Dumbbell goblet lateral lunges. So dumbbell, goblet grip, and then lateral lunge. Okay, we're doing, how many are we doing there? We are doing 8 on each leg. And then we have tricep kickbacks. So bend over, hinge at the back, elbows to our side, and extend. Working on our triceps for that. All right. Very good. And then we actually have at the end side planks. Okay, so side planks on the floor, working on our core, our oblique area. So I have about 20 seconds to go. All right, here we go. So pelvic and lateral raises. Remember, we're here. Ready? Hammer curl, rotate up, extend. 1. We're doing 10. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 1, 2, 3, 8, 1, 2, 3, 9, 1, 2, 3, 10. Awesome. You good? All right, we have our dumbbell lateral lunges. Remember this one, the main movement, if you don't want to use the dumbbells for the first set, step out, drop your hips back behind you, and come back. Then switch sides. Okay, but we want to bring our glutes, our hips behind our knee and at the same height if we can. We don't want to just do a lane like this. Okay. Step back and then sit. All right, here we go. Ready? Let me do it with one of my 7-pounders. And begin. So step, sit back, all that weight's on your heel, come back. Two, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, and 8. Whew. That was a pretty slow movement, but we got it done. Our tricep kickbacks. Okay, so this is going to be for our triceps here. Okay, tricep kickbacks. Sorry for that delay. All right, so let's bend over. Elbows come back, and we're doing 10 to 12. Okay, so just extend back. So 1, 2, 3, look down the whole time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. Ready. Side planks. Okay. Side planks, we're doing 40 seconds on each side. All right, side planks. Remember our side plank, we're just here on our side. We're being supported by our elbow and our feet or our knees. Okay, so more challenging is going to be your ankles and your elbows supporting you. And a little bit easier if you drop that knee to support your core with that. Ready? 40 seconds. 3, 2, 1, up. Just keep that shoulder up. Ten more seconds. All right, time. We're gonna switch sides. So rotate, switch sides. 3, 2, 1, up. Your hips off the ground. For 40 seconds of this. Just working on our core. Ready to control your breathing. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, good work. Get our 90 seconds rest. 90 seconds rest. Okay. Going on to our next movement here. All right, so this one's gonna be for our chest. So you're gonna hold your dumbbells here. Your palms are facing the screen, and you're gonna lift your arms forward, connect them together. So as you bring them down, they separate from each other. So you come up, they connect. So that's gonna be the dumbbell underhand front raise, working on your chest. Then to work on a little bit of balance, we're gonna do our single leg chair squats. Okay, so remember you have that leg extended or elevated, and then we're just coming up. All right, we're gonna do 8 on each leg. Then we have our next one's gonna be our bicep curls. So just bicep curls right here. And for that one, we're actually gonna switch it up to 21. So if you've done them with me in the past, we're gonna do, we're gonna do 7 halfway up. So from the bottom, halfway up, that's 1, halfway up, 2, and then the next 7 are gonna be from halfway up to the shoulders and then halfway down, okay? And then the last 7 are gonna be a full 7 bicep curls. Those are called 21s. Okay, and then after that, we have, oh yeah, it's just those 3 for that set, okay? All right, here we go. So let's go with the front raises. So dumbbells are facing the screen. Ready, and begin. So come up, 1, we're gonna go for 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Put those down. A little breather. Grab your chair, so you will be needing your chair for this one. Okay. And this one, again, working on balance and strengthening one leg at a time. So easiest way, if you've never done these before, I want you to do both legs at the same time. You're just gonna do a chair squat without the support of your arms. So you're gonna do 15 of those. Or 16. Let's just go for 16. So everyone's doing the same. But if you're a little bit more advanced, remember it could be extended. Bring it closer to you to make it easier. Extend it to make it more challenging, or elevate that foot to make it as challenging as we can. Okay, ready? Ski this way. All right, here we go. And begin. So you're doing one leg. We're doing 8 on each leg. Okay, total of 16. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm gonna switch. We're ready. Let's go ahead and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, good work. Good. We have our 21s, our next. So we'll start those in about 30 seconds. Catch your breath. Okay. Remember this one? You could follow along with me, okay? It's your first time doing these. All right, so these are called 21s. So we're here. We're gonna do 7 from this position to halfway up. So right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Now we're gonna bring them up here and then halfway down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, you can bring them all the way down. And then now it's going to be 7 full bicep curls. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Put them down. All right. How was that one? It might be the first time we do that one for many of you. Good, not too bad. All right, let's see, that says it was good. All right, so it gives you a nice little pump. So if you ever want your arms to look nice or a little bit more tone, that's one that you could do before your night out. Okay. All right, so before we finish off the complete set, we're gonna be doing 2 more movements. We have calf raises. Okay, so calf raises, and then also we have shoulder shrugs. Okay, so, and then after that, we'll start the whole circuit all over again, but I'll incorporate some new ones in there, okay? All right, so we got calf raises, so grab your dumbbells. We're gonna do 15 of these. So feet together and heels off the ground, and then slowly down. That's 1. So up and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. weights down. Give your calves a little bit of rest. Been working on my calves more lately. Try to make them feel better. Okay, shoulder shrugs. Ready? These dumbbells. So remember, this one we're just bringing our shoulders as high as we can, close to our ears, and bringing them down as low as we can as well. Okay, there we go. Ready? So up. 1. It's not too much movement going on, but it is working out those lats a little bit more. Your latissimus dorsalis. We're doing 15 of these. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Very good. How's everyone feeling? Pretty good. Okay. So we're going back to the first movements. Okay. So now these we're gonna change slightly. Okay, we're feeling good. Everyone's feeling good. All right. Great. Good stuff. So we're not done yet. We still have, maybe another 15-ish minutes. So we did our goblet squats first, or our front squats. So this time let's go with sumo squats, okay? So sumo squats are a little bit different. They're gonna target your glutes a little bit more. So sumo, we're gonna exaggerate our stance a little bit. You can have your dumbbells in front of you, down low, or here. Okay, so this is gonna require a little bit more arm strength. Okay, so we're gonna come here. We're gonna go down and up. Let's do 12. Ready? So 1, 2. I'll back up a little bit so you can see my feet, hopefully. 3, 4. You want to bring those hips down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, good work. 12, 14. Okay, so next we're gonna go, we did our front raises earlier, so now we're gonna do lateral raises. Okay. And so lateral raises. Ready? There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Getting there. Good work. Okay. All right. What else have we done? So this one's for your back. Which one can we do? So we did good mornings already for our back. This is a different one we could do. These are going to be assisted rows. Okay, so for this one, you have your chair. What I want you to do, it's going to target the upper back. Instead of like a regular row here, this one's going to target a little bit higher. So I want you to grab your dumbbell. Use one of your hands to support yourself on a chair or on a table. So you're here, and then you're just gonna bring that shoulder up. 1. Okay, we're gonna do 10 on each arm. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, we're gonna reset, switch arms, catch your breath. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You ready? We're good. All right. 10. Making sure I have all these weights plugged in. Okay. We're going to move on. Next, we have our curtsy lunges. So instead of curtsy lunges this time, we're going to do regular lunges with our dumbbells. So grab your dumbbells. Okay, so grab your dumbbells in here. And we're going to lunge forward. So big step forward. And then switch. 2. And do 16 total. 3. So 8 on each leg. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. All right. Ooh, that took a little bit out of me. 30-second rest. All right. This one we're gonna do neutral shoulder press. Okay, so neutral shoulder press. We did our Arnold press right here. So neutral, we're just gonna keep our dumbbells in front of us here. Thumbs are facing you. You're just gonna press up. Okay. Folks ready? Here we go. Ready? And begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 12, 10, 11, and 12. And a variation of movements. We did our wide grip. So we went wide on that first round. This time we're gonna keep them narrow, okay, for our lower back, for our bent over dumbbell rows. Okay, so hinge at the hips, back is straight, Arms are down and keep those arms close to you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good work. You're getting there. Almost done. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of cardio, okay? So just a little bit. This is gonna be our reverse lunge kick. Okay, so we're gonna go reverse lunge and kick. Okay, we're gonna do 8 on each leg. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Reverse lunge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, we're gonna switch. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Ooh, let's work the legs. All right. Next is going to be reverse curls. So this time our palms are facing behind us. We're going to keep our dumbbells close together, and we're going to lift that dumbbell like a regular curl. Okay. We have maybe about 3 more lifts, including this one. So 2 more after this one, and then we'll start with our cool down. Pretty good workout. All right, here. Ready? So for this one, I feel like it's easier if your thumbs are over the dumbbell, not wrapped around them. I feel like when they're wrapped around, it's gonna limit or influence your range of motion a little bit. So ready and begin. So 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Ooh, a little bit more challenging for those. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do upright rows. That's when your dumbbells are here, and we bring them up and then down, up and down. So that's upper back and shoulders. 10 of those. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Go. So up, down, up, down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. All right. Okay, and this last one is going to be for our shoulders. This one's called the 6-way delt. Okay, so it's going to be, follow along, it's going to be lateral raise to the center and then up. Okay, then we go down, reverse. Okay, so you just kind of go up. Okay, that's going to be 1. We're doing 5 of those. This is our last one. Here we go. Ready? So lateral raise, center, up, down, lateral raise, down. That's 1. 2, 3, 4. That's 1. And 5. Woo! Good job, folks. Oh, high five, everyone. High five, high five, high five. Ooh, how are you feeling? Talk to me.
I really like the second set. When we go the second time, we
Yeah.
just go through all movement without any rest, so it's good. And you add some new moves, added some new moves in the movement, and that really goes fast and it's really good.
Good. Good. I'm glad you like those. Oh,
Love it. Love it. Love it. This system that you have now works great.
okay.
Yeah,
Good.
I agree.
All right. Yeah, we'll keep with the variety. All right, Kathleen, take care. So let's go ahead and cool down. So let's sit on that left shoulder, bring it over. Yeah, I mean, when I do my own workouts, I do like the traditional way, which is a lot more boring, which is, you do one lift, then another lift, then one lift, and the other, or you just do one lift, rest for 2 minutes, do the same lift again. And it gets a little bit old and repetitive. It's definitely not as entertaining, but I feel like this one, regardless of your energy level. So let's switch. So again, we're sitting on our right hand, so that keeps the shoulder fixed, and we're pulling with our other hand. Um, so yeah, so it's one of those ways that you could change the workout so it's not so repetitive or boring, to be honest. So let's go ahead and with both our hands, grab the top backside of our head and elbows down. Ooh, that felt good on my back. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do our performance stretch. So right ankle on that left knee. Wow, did 44 different movements. Let's push down on that knee gently. Yeah, this weekend we have our race in Santa Clarita. It's early morning. The boys race at 8, so we have to leave the school at like 5:15. Bring that knee up. Let's hug it. Let's switch. Left ankle on that right knee. Oof. Let's push down on that knee gently. Bring that knee up. Relax. All right, folks, 240 calories is what I have here.
181 here
181.
and sweating a lot.
Yeah, I was sweating. I think after the reverse lunge kicks, I couldn't stop sweating. There's some movements that once you do them, it's game over. Your body's not gonna stop. So, any questions before we head out? Hi, Debbie. Hi, Carmen. Oh, Carmen, I've been seeing you. All right, folks. If we don't have any questions, then I'll see you folks on Wednesday. Appreciate everyone showing up. And yeah, I'll be doing drops. I think I've been sending the show up or you'll get dropped emails a little too long now. So, so after this class, I'm gonna start dropping people. So I think it's only like 3 or 4 people.
No.
But everyone take care. And I'll
Thank
see
you,
you
you
on
too.
Wednesday.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
folks.
you, Julio.
Bye. Bye, Olivia.
Bye.
Corinne.
Thank you, Julio.
Bye, folks.
You, bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Monica.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Doris, Nelly, Maria, Teresa, Senor.